Congratulations! You are now a debt collector. You didn't know that, did you? Well, welcome. None of us did. We're all here together, right? So let's get into it. Let's talk about this change that happened July 1st, 2025, where you are now officially a debt collector. Now, California passed a law that took effect, as I said, July 1st, called SB 1286. And that classifies certain business communications like invoices, reminders, past due notices as debt collection if they reference past due amounts, all right? Now, this all extends to every and any business in California, so we kind of got swept into the whole big thing to keep scammy debt collection people honest and start having them harassing people. It kind of started from the idea of like, you can't be harassed at home and demands, that kind of, we've all had to deal with that. Now, the penalties for this could range anywhere from $100 to $1,000 per violation. So for example, if you send out 5 or 6 past due notices, that could be 5 violations. Now, what triggers a violation? What is a violation? What is all of that stuff? Well, if you put the wrong invoice date, if there's some aggressive language, there's no disclaimers, if you just kind of casually say, hey, you owe me, when are you going to pay? Then the person who's not paying you can fall into, can contact the state and say, hey, they're harassing me. They're, dogging me for this money. And it really ends up screwing us because we have to be very careful, very specific. Now, if you're using things like QuickBooks and all of that kind of stuff, the language should be built in, but double check yourself, all right? This is more for people like freelancers who generate their own business or their own invoices and things. Now, what you need to do to remember to protect yourself is very simple, all right? You need to use neutral, non-threatening language. You can't say, pay me today, and if not, the idea was that you didn't want to get people saying, I'm going to turn you into a collection agency, and then they never do it, or, you can't just threaten people. So if you're selling them, you're going to take them to court to get your money, then you better file papers at ASAP, all right? You need to make sure that your average invoice, typically if it's like $200, no one's going to really bother you. That's a little too small. They're kind of looking at things over $1,500, so you should be safe. But be careful. I'm going to go into a lot more detail in this on Patreon. So if you want to pop on over to Patreon, we'll catch you there. We'll talk about a printable checklist. We'll give you all kinds of reference materials and things to keep you honest, because honestly, this affects small home and solopreneurs, freelancers deeply.